Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm kind of on a roll with these tutorials because I'm very anxious to get the 12 out of the way. I am going away in a day, so I need to get them done, and then the holidays are going to hit us super fast. So today I figured I would do a get ready with me and hope to the Lord that this camera does not overheat in the middle of it, because Sony apparently does that all the time. So God love my camera, but I'm ready for a new one. If anyone has any recommendations of cameras and ones that are really good for makeup artists and tutorials, picking up on details, please let me know. Leave a comment, inbox me, whatever works. So first I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my brows because that is my favorite thing to do that I wish was done every day for me. I am highly considering microblading. And what I'm using is Anastasia's Brow Wiz Pencil. I always use their products for brows because I just feel like they have a lot of great tools. It's really precise and fine. Sometimes when I can't 100% correct that spot, I'll go in with, I believe this is L'Oreal, and it's in the shade Brunette. It's just a typical brow pencil, and it's a tiny bit darker, and I'll just get that a little bit better. And we're also going to be going in there with some concealer, so don't worry about perfecting it just yet. And then I'm gonna do the same to the other side. I don't like completely hate my brows, but they can be a pain in the ass. And I always say to people, like, your brows are cousins, not sisters. So everyone has that good brow and that bad brow. Sometimes I feel like I just have two bad brows. Oh well. So, just gonna kind of match that a little bit over here. Has everyone done their Christmas shopping? I was done like officially 2 days ago, but I just keep buying more and I really need to stop. This is the first year that my boyfriend and I are doing Christmas together, and we have the dog, so we're like a little overexcited, I guess. And we're going away soon to New Hampshire in a little log cabin with our friends. Super excited about it. So, anyways, when you're done with that, now I will do my foundation. I'm going to use my foundation stick, if I can find it. It's by Makeup Forever, and it's in the shade 155 R370. These shades are weird. They're like big numbers. So best of luck finding your shade. Usually, because I spray tan and do self-tanning, I always try to aim for a shade darker than what I actually am when I'm in the store. And with this, I have to use a decent amount of product, as you can see, because I run super duper dry. And I also want full coverage. So the stick foundation, I just go a little bit heavier on, and I'm gonna be using some setting spray on my brush first, and then blending it in. Look at how nice that is. If this video cuts out at any point, I will post a second video, and I'll just put as the title part 2 or something. Sorry to be a pain, but my camera is just so flaky lately and like weird that there's really nothing I can do about it until I get a new one, and I really don't want to like fully stop doing anything. So we just have to work with what we got. So once that's done, we're gonna go in with concealer, and I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral. I could definitely go a shade darker right now, but this is what I have, and it's okay because I don't mind having a light under eye. And I'm not using like a ton of product. I'm also running super low on it, so it's about time for a new one anyways. And you just kind of put it anywhere that you want coverage, dark circles. Typically people highlight this area because that is where the light hits your face. And I always tell people beauty blenders are your best friend. I prefer them over brushes. Make sure that it's damp and just press, never wipe, except on the eyelid. The eyelid I wipe the concealer on because that's kind of like prepping for the shadow. So dab under the eye and then take that excess product and wipe right underneath. And then go right up where we put that concealer in our T-zone. And I even pale out my lips before I put my lipstick on. It's also kind of like a way of prepping for the lipstick, setting it, I guess. Another big rule is liquids before powders. So this is a foundation stick, which would be considered liquid. This is by Fenty Beauty, and I am obsessed, to say the least. I don't know if this is like Rihanna's collaboration, or if Fenty is like her own brand. I haven't done like a ton of research on it, but I know that these are definitely her contour sticks. And basically, these are your contour areas. This is what you want to look skinny and shrunk back. If you have really nice defined cheekbones, this is basically where you would accent those. And this contour stick is very thick and dense. So you take a dense makeup brush, and I am pushing very hard into my skin and blending upwards with my contour. Just pushing it like that. And then you can kind of just go in circular motions on your chin as well. Blend, blend, blend. I'm so nervous that at any point in time this camera's gonna die. So I'm trying to hustle. I don't usually like to contour my nose too much because a lot of people who contour their nose are trying to get it to look like perfected and narrow. And I already have a very narrow nose. I don't want to make it look any longer or defined. So I honestly, like, darkness, what we're contouring, sets things back and makes it look smaller. So I actually put my contour on my nose like right in the center as well. And I basically just get the whole entire thing, not just the sides, because I want it to look a little bit smaller and less narrow. So if you have a spot on your face anywhere that's just something you want to shrink back, put the contour on there. Usually it's just very basic though. It's everywhere besides your T-zone. So T-zone, light, contour, dark. I know there's a lot of rules to this game. Next are, actually, before I do that, I'm going to use some liquid highlight. This is by Buxom, and it's in the shade, I think it's called Venus, but honestly, this used to be my sister's, and she gave it to me, and the writing is very faded on the back, so I'm going to go with Venus. It's by Buxom. I'm sure you can find it. And I'm going to use a stippled, dense makeup brush. So something like this. And just kind of get it on the tip of the brush, and go right on my cheekbone, right on that highlighting bone, and I kind of pull some up here. Sometimes I bring it down on the under eye, take some more product, do the same to the other side. I put it above my lip, my Cupid's bow, on my chin, and then right here. So if you remember, we highlight in the T-zone, we put concealer in the T-zone, light, dark. So next, for the dark, we would put our bronzer on for our first powder. And that's gonna go right over where you did your contour stick. I'm using just a MAC angled powder brush. I couldn't tell you the number because it's also faded. Any angled brush will work, and I'm just contouring upwards. Right over where I did that Fenty Beauty contour stick. I'll also list the products in the description of this video on whether you're watching it briefly on Instagram or if you're watching the full video on YouTube or if you're watching it on my website. I'll make sure that it's somewhere for you to find. Okay, I'm like sweating thinking the camera's gonna die. Now I'm taking another angled brush. It's a little bit more fluffy and I'm gonna use it for my blush. I want something really pinky. So I'm actually going to use this. It's called I'm a Lover, and it's a very lollipop pink, bubblegum pink. And I'm just going to press that. I'm not even wiping, I'm just pressing it right where I want the blush on my cheek. Like that. And then for highlight, I'm going to use my favorite fan brush by Sephora. This, folks, is as soft as it looks. I would sleep in this if it were the size of a blanket, but it's not. It's such a nice fluffy brush and it works really well. It's called the Featherweight Fan, the Pro. I think it's a number 92 if you're a number girl. I'm gonna use Champagne Pop because God bless Jaclyn Hill. And I need to find it. There it is. Bing! Right over that liquid. Everywhere we put the liquid highlight. Your highlight zones. Highlighting, kind of like my under eye, has been my favorite thing lately. It just makes me look a little bit more awake and brighter. Okay, now that that's done, time to move on to shadows. Today, what are we going to do? I haven't even thought about it. I've not even thought about it a second. I'm thinking we're going to do purples. Sparkly shimmery purple. So we're gonna start out with the color in this Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette with the shade Buon Fresco, assuming it's French. This is going to be your crease color. It's basically going to start the whole entire process, so you know the drill. Take your blending brush, go right in your crease and blend upwards. I'm really not doing too much. So go over to the next lid, start the same thing. Circular motions, kind of going over like a hill. I always have like less product on my brush when I go to my second eye. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna get a little bit more to match it to the other side. And then once I'm done doing that, I'm going with Antique Bronze, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And really kind of focusing it on my corner only and right in the crease, and I'm not blending upwards. So I'm staying right in my crease and pulling it out towards the corner and not blending upwards. Same thing to the other side. Notice how I always, when I pick up product, I tap off my brush. So right in your crease, pulling to the other side. And I don't really need any more product, I don't think, for this side, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Once we're done doing that, we're going to do a similar look again with the cut crease, because I'm loving the cut crease look, and I think everybody else does too. Taking your MAC paint pot in soft ochre with your concealer brush and pulling that right across your lid. Basically what this paint pot does, or concealer, because you can use either one, it's just setting a base for you to put the glitter or the pigment or whatever color is standing out on your lid. It's really just setting that up and making it stick better right on that spot. And it also is accenting your crease by creating that coverage. And just pull. Remember to keep your eye open when you're doing this, because if you close your eye and you try to create that crease, you can go too far up and you can actually create this product to hit the top of your lid, and that's a mess. So keep your eyes slightly open. It's all about having a steady hand, taking your time, working with the product. Okay, we're making it. Now we're gonna take a flat brush, nice and cleaned off. We're gonna spray it with some setting spray, and we're going to use the pigment Kitschmas